Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the series on self-realization, and the last time we questioned how the Brahman, which is of the nature of infinite and which is indicated by the three words Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, means it is of the nature of existence and its nature of pure consciousness, and it is limitless, and therefore it is Ananda Swarupam. It's a nature of happiness, because any limitation causes suffering. So it is full, and therefore its nature itself, it's not a quality of the Brahman, but its nature. Quality means a quality is that which is different from the one who have the quality. But here there is no difference. Therefore, it is itself of the nature of the happiness itself. So, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That's how the Upanishad defines Brahman. So, it's not only existence, because existence alone was there before creation. That's how Chandogya Upanishad starts. In other Upanishads say Atma idamagramasid, say Atma, the self alone was there before creation. Self means that which exists and conscious. And in a third Upanishad says the Anandameva, Ananda alone was there before creation. So all our different Upanishads are pointing to the same truth, and the nature is, it is infinite, and it is nature of consciousness, and which exists, and being limitless, it is Ananda Swarupa. So, being infinite, no words can reach there, mind cannot reach there, nothing can reach there, because reaching is something which is different from what it is. So, I have to reach some place, means I am not there and I am here. So, there is spatially limited and space-wise limited, because there is not here. So, therefore, I have to reach there, means essentially implies a duality. And in the Brahman there is no duality whatsoever, so therefore no words can reach there. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. I cannot even describe it. Words, because description requires a words, and navak gacchati na manaha. Neither the words can reach there nor the mind can reach there. So how am I going to realize? So number one, Brahman is infinite, and you cannot realize it. How? Because Brahman cannot be, because I can realize something else other than myself. So realization cannot be, a realizer cannot be separate from the realized, because that's a division. So Brahman has to realize Brahman. Brahman need not have to realize. It cannot, but it need not, because it is one without a second. So from Brahman point, there is no samsara, there is no suffering, there is no need for realization, there is nothing in that can be differentiable. So therefore, there is neither jnanam or ajnanam from Brahman. If I am Brahman, infinite, follow it carefully, if I am really infinite, then from my point, neither there is a knowledge, neither I had to realize, nor I need to realize, because even the question of realization comes only for that which is different from Brahman. Simple, because that's logical. Is there anything different from Brahman? There cannot be, because if Brahman being infinite, if something is different from Brahman, then Brahman ceases to be Brahman. So from Brahman point there is no jivas also. Then who am I? Where am I? What is this world? So the fellow who is asking the question, a jiva, jagat and Ishvara. I am a jiva, this is the world, and this is Ishvara. So these three divisions seems to be there, and the Brahman cannot have the divisions, so these divisions are not really real. And we went through how the creation is explained, because infinite cannot undergo any modification. Only finite things can undergo. So creation requires a modification, and because one thing has to be created into something else. But that modification cannot be for infinite. So therefore there is no real creation, there is only apparent creation. So whole problem is only apparent. Then where is the problem? It seems to be real to me. But when the apparent is taken as real, then there is a real problem. This is a problem. So once I am in the world, thinking that I am a separate from the world, and there is an Ishvara separate from the world, then problem starts. Because I am, scripture point is infinite, but I am taking finite as I am, and therefore suffering the consequence of misunderstanding. But why should I misunderstand? So you tell me, why are you misunderstanding? Because when you are Brahman, how can you take? Because you are a subject and you are taking an object as you are. So there is a fundamental problem, ignorance, and that ignorance is what we are analyzing. And now let's go one by one. We said only Brahman was there, infinite, but it cannot really create. Then how does it create? And we gave an example of how the Upanishad gives an example, and that's called Vivarta. Vivarta means apparent creation. Apparent creation is appears to be real, but not really real. That's what is called apparent creation. And we said the Chandogya Upanishad gives you three examples. One is just as the gold becoming into many ornaments. Gold doesn't really become many ornaments. It is still remaining as a gold. So gold it was, gold it is, and gold it will be. At the same time there are many ornaments. So ring and a bangle and a necklace and a bracelet and all that, each one is different, and there can be many rings, many bangles, many necklaces, but from the gold point it is ekameva advitiyam, one without a second. So any analysis you do, chemical analysis of any ring or a bangle and a necklace, use spectroscopical analysis, you get only Au. Au means it is a chemical name for gold. So there is only gold in spite of many differences. So gold can declare, I can exist in many forms, yet there are no really forms, but I am only there in different forms. Why are you in different forms? That's a question you have to ask the gold. Right? So, how does the creation is explained? Creation is explained is tadaikshada bhausyam tada eti. That's how in the Chandogya says, it saw and it decided to become many, and therefore it became many. How did it become many? There's a process of it created first it became first the Akasha. So if he wants to create a God, say where does it? Every religion says God created this universe. So how did he create? Where did he get the material to create? That question is asked only in Vedanta. That's why Vedanta is a science. So in order for him to create this universe, he needs a material. But where is the material? If he has to go somewhere else, then material is separate from him. Then we ask the question, who created that material? So we need to bring another God. So only answer can be he himself, the material itself has to become from him. So Upanishad talks about just as yatornanabhi sujate grunnate cha, just as the spider put forth the net. Where does it get material? It comes from its own self. But there, the net is different from the spider, even though it can withdraw and put it forth, but still it appears to be different from the spider. So these are limited examples. Actual example it gives you in the later in the Upanishad, in the Mandukya Upanishad, it talks about how just as the creation of a dream. So we'll analyze that later. But when I'm talking about how the creation occurs, it says there is a methodology of creation, apparent creation, but appears to be real for those who are inside the creation. So a ring is real, a bangle is real, necklace is real. So why did he become this kind of ring and that kind of ring and so on? So when I went to a goldsmith shop, and I saw varieties and varieties of rings. I wanted to buy a ring, and there are many varieties of rings there. I looked around. I didn't like any one of them. Then I asked the goldsmith there was also there in the shop. Says, why did you make all this kind of useless rings? Says, why? Because I don't find the ring I like. What is the ring you like? So I gave him a description of ring, and that is the real ring. These are useless rings. Why did you make all that? Why don't you make a beautiful ring like that? The goldsmith said, sir, nobody will buy that kind of ring. If you want, I'll make it for you, but it costs you extra. I am making those rings because there is a market for it. People demand and I am selling it. Therefore, I make those rings because there is a demand for that kind of ring. There is no demand for the kind you want. So, I had to make not what I like, not what you like, what the people like. If you are going to buy it, and if you want to buy 100, I'll make 100 of that kind what you want. So essentially, a goldsmith doesn't make for his own fancy. He creates because there is a demand for that kind of ornaments. Whether it's a ring and a bangle or a necklace and all that, he fulfills the demand for the public, customers. So God also has to create for the demand of the customers. So when he says he himself became many, on what basis he became many? Not just any Tom, Dick and Harry, but he became many according to the demand. What's the demand? Demand is by the vasanas of the people. So I create an environment conducive for my vasanas. You create an environment conducive to your vasanas. We discussed this vasana, how vasanas come and all that. So everyone creates their environment suitable to their vasanas. And the total creation is nothing but the satisfaction of the total vasana of all jivas put together, and that forms the basis for creation itself. If I don't like creation, don't complain to the God. God doesn't have his own free will to create whatever he wants. He has to meet the demand of the people. And demand is through the total vasanas, which is also called Maya. So we heard Maya, this is Maya. Maya is total vasanas of all people put together becomes a root cause for the creation. So that becomes a Parameshwara Shakti. Shakti means a power for him to create all this. And the creation involves first creating a subtle elements and then the gross elements. A process being defined in our scriptures says from which Atmava Akasha Sambhutaha Akashat Vayuhu Vayu Agni Agni Apaha Abja Prithvi Prithivya Voshadayaha Voshadebhya Unnam Annat Purusha. Like that, one by step by step. It's explained first the subtlest element, Akasha, space is created. So how space is created? That's what they say, because from Atma space is created. That's the first subtlest. Then from the space, then comes Akashat Vayuhu. Next subtler one is the gaseous state. Then say Akashat Vayu, Agni Apaha, Apa Prithvi. So from the Akasha, so the energy state and then the other, these more the liquid and the solid states have come from single creation. So in the Upanishad talks about there is a subtle material and a gross material. What is subtle material and what is gross material? Subtle material is too subtle that you cannot use the gross tools to analyze the subtle. That's the definition. So, how don't believe it? Whether you believe it or not, he says, what is the software and what is the hardware? Hardware you can see even in terms of disks and all that. Software, how do you see? So that's the subtle. So we have subtle, software has to rest in hardware for me to use it. Right? Same computer language can be used clearly to explain what is subtle and what is gross. So first gross, the subtle elements and then the gross elements. So gross elements define all the 14 lokas are being created using the gross elements, and that's how a sequence of creation has been defined. So before creation, the Lord Ishvara and meditated on it. So meditate means what? Conceptualize what should be the creation depending upon the demand of all the people in different lokas, depending upon, so in each loka it has its own environment and you need proper body in order to transact in that world. So in this world we have varieties of animals and the plants all the way to human beings, body required to transact in this world. Oh, this is too gross. But at the same time, I have a mind, intellect, which is subtle, which cannot be analyzed by gross things. Even objective science, if you go to philosophy or psychology and ask what is a mind, you have theories about mind itself. Psychological theories, and there is a theories by philosophers, each defining what really mind is. And mind has capacity to think. So what is a thought? These are all subtle materials, and according to Vedanta, mind is also a material. How can you prove? Because it depends upon the gross material for it to sustain. So in the Chandogya Upanishad, the teacher asked the student to starve for 15 days. And he does, except he has drinking water to survive. After 15 days, the teacher asked the student, the teacher is also father, and the Svetaketu is his student, his own son. He asked, now repeat the Vedas that you have learned. After 15 days, where he has become so weak and his mind cannot think because it's not being fed. He's so tired he cannot even remember. Says, I can't remember, I don't know. So again he starts slowly eating. After 15 days the mind also becomes strong enough. So it absorbs the subtle material from the gross material and becomes strong. That's why people take drugs to change the mind. That's a drug is a gross material, but it affects the brain and the mind also. And therefore subtle material is there, and that's mind and intellect, and that and the gross material, this body, all are part of creation. And each jiva is created to suit his body, his mind. So when I am born, I select the particular environment, parents and the environment conducive to exhaust my vasanas. And my parents have their own vasanas that demanding a particular son. So it is the total vasanas, my parents, my siblings, and the environment in which I am going, all are put together. Now you can see how God is. He has to make sure everything is satisfied, And that is essentially why we call it is Sarvajnaha. Means he knows everything and everything is done, and that's how the definition of God is. He is the one who has complete vision of the creation and sustains the creation, and also he annihilates the creation. All that is being discussed properly. So not only is a intelligent cause, that means he is the creator, but also he is a material cause also. He himself became many. So that infinite which became a God and vasanas all together form into many. Just like in the case of gold and ornaments, goldsmith, the creator is different from the gold. So there is no analogy, proper analogy, but it is only used to explain at least certain aspects of it, where gold is vivarta transformation, that means it is transformationless transformation and not the irreversible transformation like called parinama, where the milk is becoming into yogurt. So when transformation is that, this is a reversible transformation is that way, when we say it becomes into that, it keeps itself, something is conserved in the process. So when I say A plus B equal to C, it becomes C plus D. Normally any chemical reaction that we study in the chemistry. So A plus B is becoming to C plus D. So there is a transformation of A plus B into C plus D. So even though the reaction is going on, from the reactants we are producing products, we say that there is a conservation. Something remains the same across the equation. That's what children suffer trying to balance the equation. What are they balancing? The matter here should be equal to matter there. The energy here should be equal to energy there. Because matter and energy are conserved during this transformation. So when the gold becoming into ornaments, gold is conserved. Means it still remains as a gold. Ring may become into bangle, but ring becoming bangle is a parinama, that means irreversible transformation. Not irreversible, at least reversible transformation, because ring is no more and now you have a bangle. Destructive transformation, if I can say. So a bangle may become a necklace, necklace may become, those are the destructive transformations. One is destroyed and another is created. But in this process, something is not destroyed. What's not destroyed? The law of the mass is not destroyed. The gold is not destroyed. So gold remains as a gold. So even in this relative example, we can see that transformation across the transformation from one becoming into many, one gold becoming into many ornaments, something is conserved, which is changeless in the changing things. Changeless one is more real than the changing things. Ring is not that real. It is real enough for me to wear it, but not really real. It's only apparently real, but what is real is only gold. That's why we lock it up. If it's iron, we don't lock it up. So because it's a gold we regard, but I don't see any gold, I see only ring. Sir, look carefully. It is nothing but gold only, gold appearing as a ring. I had to use my intelligence to know that it is gold. And gold has its own properties which is different from the ring, right? It is a yellow color and all those properties of the gold. That's what we do chemical analysis, you know, properties of the gold. So you don't see properties of the ring when you do chemical analysis because you are looking for material from which it came. So properties of the gold is also objective, therefore when I am analyzing in this example. But we know that it is conserved, therefore I am able to analyze. If the property does not have any properties, if the one that it came from does not have properties, but I know it came from, then I cannot analyze using objective tools. I am referring to now when the total Sat Chit Ananda Brahman appears to become many, so I see many, they are only apparent. Just as ring and a bangle and a necklace. They are apparent or real enough for transactions. Ring is real, bangle is real, necklace is real. The attributes of the ring and the bangle and the necklace are different. And therefore, when it became many, the individuals are different. But in essence, they are the same, because it is only vivarta. He apparently become infinite, cannot really undergo modification. So it's an apparent transformation. So infinite appears to be many, just as the goal. But since infinite cannot be analyzed using the objective tools which are limited, limited tools cannot analyze the infinite. So when somebody says, show me Brahman, so it means he is looking for a finite Brahman. I cannot show him. Show me God, I cannot show him God also. Because if there is a God that I can show him, then he ceases to be God, because he is seeable. He becomes a finite. We are not talking about avatars. Avatars are different. Therefore, when we say that the Brahman became many, I cannot recognize Brahman, because recognition I am using the tools that are not valid for recognition. Therefore, I cannot say I don't see Brahman, because you cannot see Brahman, because the Brahman is infinite. At the same time, Brahman is that because of which the whole universe came. So Upanishad defines Brahman as yatova imani bhutani jayante ena jatani jivanti yat prayamcha visham vishanti, from which the whole universe came, by which it is sustained, and into which it goes back. That is Brahman. So Brahman, its definition is what? From which it came. But not only it came, but it is sustained. That means it is a material. But I cannot analyze the material because it is infinite. So pure existence alone was there before creation. Sadeva Saumya idamagramasid. But it became many. So it became many what? It became many, keeping its existence as it is. Gold became many, keeping its gold nature as it is. Existence remains as existence, but now appearing as existence, as this, he, she, it, all that. So if I say something exists in the universe, because I am existing, remember we started with that. I am an existent entity and a conscious entity. When say something is existing, that means it comes from the pure, what was there before? Pure existence itself became many. Now we ask the question, sir, you told me that Brahman is consciousness. What happened to the consciousness that became many? I don't see any consciousness in the chair, in the table, and the whole world looks like all inert to me. Where is the consciousness? I am the only one really conscious, from my point. From your point, you are the only one who is conscious. So what happened to the consciousness? And you say everything is conserved, so consciousness has to be conserved. But I don't see it. Consciousness is lost. You say existence is conserved, then I accept it. Existence in the form of chair, existence in the form of a table, existence in the form of a earth, existence in the form of a galaxies, existence in the form of a space. Whatever that I can see that exists is nothing but existence in that form. So anything exists because of the existence itself. Existence is not a property. People think that existence is a property. Satchidananda is a property of Brahman. No. If it is a property, why is it not a property? If it is a property, then the locus of property is different from the property. See, gold has a yellow color. So yellow color is different from the gold, but gold has yellow color. That means it's a property of the gold. And the gold is different from the property. If existence is a property, then there has to be locus for existence which is different from existence. Follow the logic. If existence is a property, the locus for that property should be different from the property. So then there has to be something which is not existent, which is, because anything other than existence is only non-existence. So something which is non-existent, which has the property of existence. So it's really a contradiction in terms. Therefore, existence cannot be a property. It is infinite, therefore it is imperceptible. So if God is in the form of existence, it is imperceptible. You cannot show God. You cannot see God. If you see God, then that's not God. Because you are able to see. Drishyatvad, Shankaracharya says, because you see, therefore it's not real. How and what is exactly consciousness, what happened to consciousness, and how jeeva came into picture, we will analyze further in the next talk. With this we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.